Whoever tells you it's not about the money, trust me when I tell you this, it's because they got plenty of money. Until you have plenty of money, I'm going to tell you from firsthand experience, it is about the money. What do we mean? Well, you're just going to have to tune in to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus, you are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and my main man,
JC.
John Coleman.
Dio, what's popping?
You know what? It's Monday, coming off of the weekend. You know, I'm in a good mood, except for it's hot as shit up in the office today. Did you check with the landlord about the AC or what?
It's always hot in Florida, Dustin.
It is always hot in Florida, and we are in June, but I'm saying it's like hot here in the studio today.
Because we're cooking up fire content, Dustin.
No, I'm not even trying to go there, John.
Haven't you heard?
No, but it was hot. You know, it was so hot this weekend in Florida.
It wasn't that bad.
I lost 8 pounds of water weight.
You're not drinking enough alcohol then.
No, I think that's what happened is we went out to dinner. There's a new Hangry Bison in Lake Mary. Went to the Hangry Bison. Took forever to get a table.
Tab? How much did you spend? $500?
I have no idea.
That's what it's all about now.
I have
How
no
much
idea.
did you drop? What did you eat? Some shitty
I didn't pay
bison
for it.
burgers?
My wife picked it up. So I have no
Out of
idea.
the shared account?
I have no idea, John. But so I ended up drinking 2 IPAs waiting.
Bloated.
No, waiting for my table.
2 IPAs will get you bloated.
Then I drank 2 more.
What kind?
High Life. High Life. All four were High Life. Great dinner. Great time out with my sister-in-law and her wife, and my son came, and my daughter was there, and cousin Ben came. It was a nice outing.
Sounds terrible.
But no, what I was getting at, sounds terrible to you,
Terrible.
is that I decided to get up Sunday morning, and I didn't go on my run with my group because they were getting up too early.
Peer pressure.
And someone who drinks 4 IPAs is not getting up at 5:30 to go run at 6:30.
No, they are not.
So I ran at 10:30 in the morning here in Central Florida. By the time I got back from my run, then I think I cleaned the pool. Then my wife and I cleaned out the garage. I almost passed out 3 times in the garage due to heat. I weighed myself, and I was 8 pounds less.
I rollerbladed Saturday morning. I don't appreciate the crowdedness of the trails, but then after I rollerbladed, I think it was like a 6-mile loop I did, and then I came home and got in the sauna for 45 minutes.
Did you pass out?
No, because I'm not a bitch.
Oh, ouch. Hey, quick shout out to our friends over at Rome. Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore that comment. So I did that.
Hey! I've been reading books. I finished Atomic Habits. Took me like 2 weeks.
Yeah, you must have made reading a habit.
1%.
Did you stack it with something fun?
No, and then I started reading that Jocko Willink's book.
Extreme Ownership?
Yeah, I'm
nice. You're going down the T-Lop.
I am the leadership train. That book is. I love how he talked. They start the book. This is not a book about glamorizing war stories. The entire book, glamorizing war stories, and 1 page of how it relates to business in this chapter. I was like, the fuck is this? It's like I'm playing Call of Duty.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that book. It's still on my, like, when people are like, hey, Joe, give me 5 good book recommendations. Atomic Habits and Extreme Ownership are easily the 1-2 with Never Split the Difference.
They really glorify warfare
3.
in that book. Yeah. Like, really awesome. The words.
Hoorah! God. Yeah, get after it. I'm probably not even allowed to say hoorah.
RPG does not stand for rocket propelled grenade.
What does it stand for?
Something Russian, but I did not know it did not stand for RPG. Doesn't mean rocket propelled. You're welcome. You're welcome, people.
All right. Well, I learned that. I was going to give a quick shout out to Rome.
I'm
going to tell you why. No. So John and Lexi over at Rome, RO.am, like, they're going to put Zoom and Teams out of business.
Really?
Okay. Oh,
okay.
I love their platform.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, if you're doing lots of things on webinar or you really want to have that virtual office feel, you should check out what they're doing over at Rome. All right, but anyhow, so they do an event where they told me what it was going to be. We hung out when we were in UWM Live. So we were up in Michigan at UWM Live. I hung out with John and Lexi. They're like, hey, we're doing this event. You should be a part of it. I'm like, oh, what is it? They're like, oh, it's like an executive roundtable from 7 to 8, and we're doing a wine tasting. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Like 7 to 8, I'll, after dinner, hop on a Rome meeting. And, you know, they had guys like Brian Hale that were going to be on, and they had guys like David Licken was going to be on. And look, David and Brian are like some of the who's who in the industry. Like, these are the men that I look at their careers, I look at where I'm trying to go in my career, and there's some patterns and some footsteps that I'm trying to step in. So I was like, sure, I'd love to do this. So they send 3 bottles of wine to my house. I'm not putting like 2 and 2 together. My wife's like, hey, did you order wine? I'm like, no, I don't really drink enough wine to order it. I'm like, oh, that's from Lexi and John over at Rome. So the long story short is we do this pretty cool, think like happy hour. It was a wine tasting with a sommelier. And my dumbass left my wine bottles downstairs. I was upstairs in my office just drinking my regular water out of my coffee mug while this really awesome sommelier like walked everyone through the presentation, all 3 bottles, the vintage, the background, the history. So although I wasn't able to partake with them, I still had the bottles. And then John sent me the recording of our Rome event. So when I had my parents and my sister and my niece over for dinner yesterday, I totally threw up YouTube. I turned on our Rome event, got out the 3 bottles of wine, and I was able to actually let my parents and my sister and my niece participate in that own little like wine tasting with a professional sommelier, all thanks to Rome. So shout out to John, shout out to Lexi. I wish I was with them because right now they're at Housing Wires, The Gathering, but I didn't get that invite this year.
Couldn't bogart your way this time, huh?
You know what? Clayton Collins reached out to Dan Snyder over at Lower. He's like, Dan, why isn't D.O. coming to the house?
He said
to the Gathering? Yeah.
Oh, that's just because of the invite. What was his excuse?
I don't know. Never heard from Dan. Never heard from Dan. No, but anyhow, a lot of our friends are right now out at Housing Wires, The Gathering. So anyhow, that's not what today's episode's about. So let's jump into today's episode. But before we do, how about a quick word from today's show sponsor? Today's episode is proudly brought to you by our friends over at AIM. AIM is the Association of Independent Mortgage Experts. Look, at T-Lop Originator Coaching, we preach daily that you work for you, LLC. AIM is the organization that believes in all of these same ideals. They are an organization out to empower the independent mortgage broker. AIM is arming you with the resources to make sure you're always ahead of the curve, protecting your channel and dominating your market. They offer exclusive training, powerful networking, and a voice in Washington, D.C., especially when it matters. Go check them out right now. Head over to aimgroup.com. That's AIME group.com. Join the movement. And while you're at it, say what's up to our guy, Jonathan. Now we're back. How excited are you about today's? Because I'm looking at today's episode, John, as one that you and I can go back and forth on.
I mean, if it's making fun of people and putting other people down, then I'm all about it, Dustin.
Possibly.
That's my brand, by the way. I like how people on the internet think, like, what do you call it, negative? Bunch of losers commenting on the internet. But anyway, I seem to embrace that turncoat identity that I have. So,
hey, you like it?
Think I give a shit?
Maybe. I see there's a part of John Coleman on a Sunday afternoon. Maybe when you've like tried to light that bowl that's a day old.
Ordered 6 more just so I don't have to clean them. Got them delivered. Shout out my boy Grav. Maybe we should be sponsored by them.
That John's like, man, you know, maybe I should have been nice to those other human beings.
Get the fuck out of here and get away from me with that petty ideology.
All right.
That's what's wrong with you. But anyway, what are you talking about, money or something?
Yeah, no, this came about a conversation I was having with one of our coaching students.
Okay.
And, you know, it's the phrase where someone's like, oh, I don't do this for the money.
People, yeah, you say that because you already have money. Next question.
Correct. And I'm like, no. Look.
Poor people can't say that because they can't afford to.
I will tell you that I hope everyone can have this opportunity that I got to in my life.
What's that?
Well, I turned 40. I hit a savings goal.
Yep.
And I was going through some life transformations in terms of like self-improvement and betterment and life coach and reading books and drinking less alcohol, like losing weight and becoming a reader. Like all of those things were transpiring all around the same time I was turning 40. And I got to a point that because I hit a savings goal, I was able to say, I'm only going to do things if they're fun, if I enjoy doing them, if they challenge me in all the right ways. So I could look at my daily, weekly, monthly task, and I could ask, does this challenge me? Is this fun? Do I enjoy doing it? And if the answer is yes, yes, and yes, then I did it. But I could get there because I already had the money. I hit the savings goal.
Yeah.
But the 20 years leading up to that, no. I was willing and able to do whatever it took, legally and ethically, that didn't jeopardize me being a good parent or a good spouse, to make the most amount of money because I recognized that what I do for a living is not rocket science. It's not heart surgery. I'm not creating the next big technological advancement. I'm a mortgage lender. And the same thing can be applied if you're a life insurance salesperson, or if you are a financial advisor, or if you're a real estate agent, whether that's commercial or whether that's residential. The same could be said if you sell timeshare, or you insert any other financial sales profession where you can make $200,000, $400,000, $600,000 a year without needing some specialization in terms of like your degree or your experience.
When loan officers say, or what I like to say, when loan officers lie and say, I love helping clients, I take that as a pile of bullshit. How many loan officers are in this industry strictly because they can make a lot of money?
Oh, I cannot tell you it's bullshit. I can't. And I would like to unpack the lot of money thing, right? Because my one call to action to the viewers and the listeners is, look, if you don't have FU money yet, make it about the money. Make it about the money. You don't know how long you have to make this type of money, but I know I feel good about the next 3 years, hopefully the next 7, preferably the next 10. Get after it, get yours, leave nothing on the field, leave nothing on the table. Make as much as you can so you can save and invest as much as you can. Now, if you're in a position in your life when you're like, it's not about the money, then I won't want to see your investment account, right? Because I think it should be about the money until you get to a certain degree. So let's just leave that there. Because even for somebody that, I will tell you, it's not about the money. However, there's a certain dollar per hour I need to make. Because if I can't make that dollar per hour, it's not worth me not fishing. It's not worth me not golfing. It's not worth me not training for my next triathlon. It's just not. I'd rather go hang out with my dog if I can't make $300-400 an hour doing what I love to do, what challenges me in every good type of way. So anyhow, put that to bed. You said something about how many loan officers are in it for the money. Here's what I found. People become mortgage brokers, loan officers, VPs of lending, whatever, because they think they want to make a lot of money. And they like to help people. They do. Like, I have always been a people person. When we were in Panama City Beach in 1999 or 2000, it would have been 2000 for spring break.
Y2K.
Yeah, right after Y2K. Survived Y2K. Barely, and not because of Y2K, because my buddy Rich got a knife out when everybody was drunk and wanted to start cutting people.
There you go.
And I still today wear a scar on my left forearm.
That's why you're a top producer.
From Rich slicing me open that night of Y2K.
Everybody deserves a home loan.
But there's a time that I'm in the parking lot leaving Club La Vila, and my buddies are like, oh my God, where's D.O.? And someone's like, running for mayor. Right? I'd found some couple in the parking lot and they had become my new best friends. Now, I was probably 21 years old and been drinking all day, so who knows what frame of mind I was in, but I was nice and I was helpful and I was caring. So I can tell you, I've personally have liked people. I like to please people, I like to serve people, and I also like to make a lot of money.
Do you know, are there any loan officers that make a lot of money that aren't people persons? That like
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And that is where, when you're looking at DISC personality profile, someone who's a high D, high drive, that person, their drive is so high, they can suck it up buttercup and get the job done. Well, you need me to go smile and shake someone's hand? I'll go smile and shake someone's hand. You need me to give a presentation? I freaking hate public speaking. I get scared. But you know what they get scared of more? Losing. They get scared more of not being number one. That's what they hate worse. They hate losing worse than they fear talking to strangers. So they will go do what they fear less so that they don't have to attack what they fear most. Right? So, and that's probably the problem. People who get into this industry who love people and want to make a lot of money, their love for people also comes with people's acceptance of them. Therefore, they fear rejection. They fear not being liked. They fear not being used. They fear not being wanted. Therefore, that fear becomes greater than their fear of being broke. Then they don't make sales calls because they're deathly afraid of being told no, of someone not liking them, not being able to like remember what the numbers game or remember it is a numbers game. So then someone like me and many people who are like me, because I would say I'm pretty typical of a top producer, right? Like I go to Mastermind Summit, I'm going to hang out with a bunch of people who are like me. It's probably why I love events like this, and you can take them in moderation. I go to those events and I'm like, okay, these are people who like other people and they have a high drive to make money. So the two go hand in hand. But it would be easier for someone who has all drive and doesn't like people to be successful than it ever would be for someone who loves people, but isn't willing to overcome the fear of rejection or the fear of failure to go do what they have to do.
So if I'm a loan originator and I've been making a lot of money for a while, how much do I need like in an account to be like, all right, now I got the money so I can switch over to where it's not about the money? Give me a number. Like I have $600,000 like in my savings account and I have another $1.7 million in some IRA. Give me raw numbers, Dustin.
No, so I like that. I think it has to start with where are you in life and what does retirement look like for you, right? Like that's true story. So all of us should have at this standpoint, if you're a top producer, you have no credit card debt, you have 6 months in reserve, okay? Hopefully you have a mortgage because to me that's leveraged debt. But if you have 6 months of your lifestyle in reserve, you have no credit card debt. You're maxing out your 401k. You're maxing out an IRA. And for your top producers, you should be doing a backdoor Roth IRA, at which point you can put roughly $7,000 in a year for you, $7,000 a year in for your wife or your spouse, I should say. And then you can convert it into a Roth like the next day. The IRS still allows for that. You max out your 401k because that reduces your taxable income. Plus, many of your employers may have some kind of a 401k match. Even if it's only $3,000 per year, it's a free $3,000. So like we should be doing those types of things. Now, once we get there, what's your number? Well, it depends. How much longer are you looking to work and how much money do you need in retirement?
Let's stereotype. So I got 2 kids. They're getting older. One's like already in college, got her scholarship. She's throwing like she got all of her debt, so I ain't got to pay for it. And I have 1 kid about to leave the house. My wife works a moderate job, and I plan on retiring like when I'm 56. I'm currently 40 years old.
Cool. All right. So if you have 16 more years to earn, what I don't know is how many more years do you have to save? But I would tell you this, John, if you had $1 million right now in investable assets, right? IRA, 401k, and then maybe you have some kind of like a managed account with JP Morgan. You call your guy Caleb Chapman, he's your wealth manager, or you call your guy Steve Curley, he's your wealth manager. If you had that type of money, I know that Rule of 72 tells me if you earn 8% per year on that money, every 9 years it's going to double. So how much did you say you had? Like 1 point what?
Yes.
1.6, I think you said. Yep. So I know that you're 40 years old. By 49, that 1.6 becomes 3.2.
What?
Yeah, if you never save another dime. So listen, if you never save another dime, it becomes 3.6. Now you're only 49. You said you're going to work till you're 56. So you have 7 more years. So your 3.6 is going to turn into $7 million. So let me ask you this. I know that if you had $7 million invested and it was in some kind of a diversified portfolio, that you could at 56 live off of 4% per year. So on $7 million, you could live off of $280,000 per year, or roughly $28,000 a month.
Jesus.
So my question to you, John, would be, are you comfortable if you are able to live off of $28,000 a month, assuming by the time you're 56, if you did pay for college for your children, it's paid off. If you did have a mortgage, it's paid off. Would you be sitting good? And if you're 40 years old with $1.6 million invested and you plan on working 16 more years, I could say to you emphatically, John, as long as you make enough money to live your lifestyle and you never save a dime, I know that from 40 to 49, your 1.6 becomes 3.2. I know from 49 to 56, roughly, your 3.2 will become, and I did my math wrong, it'll become, I'm sorry, 1.6 you said. Yeah, it becomes 3.2.
Okay.
Your 3.2 becomes 6 million.
Let's go.
Of which, let me change your numbers, you now have to live off of $20,000 a month.
Can't do it.
So if you could do that and you never save another dime again, I would say you're pretty close to being in that spot where you could say it's not about the money. Like, it's not about the money. And that's exactly what I did. I got to 40. I looked at how much money I had saved and I said, worst case, Dustin, worst case, you just make enough money to maintain your lifestyle. That from 40 to 49, your money will double. From 49 to 58, your money will double. So if I get 2 double ups between 40 and 58, would I be comfortable? And the answer was yes. I was going to have more money than I ever thought I'd retire on. And I would be able to earn just at 4% interest, the same amount of money that I was accustomed to living my lifestyle on. The difference is my lifestyle was paying the mortgage on my rental property, paying the mortgage on my primary home, plus saving for 2 kids' college education. Plus, I had to pay for healthcare for 2 kids. Plus, I had the expense of having 2 kids. When I turn 56 or 58, I'm ready to retire. Let's presume both mortgages are paid off. College has already been funded, and I'm only covering my wife and I. So that money should be able to go further. And what's cool about this is that me taking 4% at 55 or 58 or 59 and a half, whatever number I choose, I'm still going to have my portfolio grow by probably another 2 or 2.5% per year. And every year I can give myself a raise. So I made $20,000 in month 1 of my retirement, but by year 2, by my second year or month 13, maybe that's going up to 21,500, and then by month 25, it's going up to 23,000. So I'm still giving myself a raise. So for me, getting that money where I could say, oh, it's no longer about the money. It was hitting that savings goal, and I appreciate your question. But what's very important for people to understand is I went from 2001 to 2020, almost 20 years, where every effing day was about the money. And when I made good money, I prayed to God, give me one more year like this. And when I made good money, I said, can I get one more year? Then I made great money. I'm like, holy cow, can I get 3 more great monies? And I lived my life as if the next year was going to be the next financial crash, right? And I was able to go 10, 11, 12, 13. I went like a decade. 2022, we got kicked in the junk. 2023, we got spit on when we were down. 2024, we got kicked again, right? 2025, and we're getting to a knee, and they're just laughing at us. But because of how I approached my day, my week, my month, no, it was all about the money. And it was all about the money with my understanding that I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm not a heart surgeon. I'm not some big tech inventor. But if I had the ability to make the most that I can make, I wanted to. I wanted to rake it in, and I saved religiously. I'm talking 20% of my gross income got saved and invested every single year.
Damn, if I could go back, I'd probably save more money.
I mean, it's one of those, you read the book on James Clear and habits. What a great habit to teach your children. What a great habit to get knocked out in your 20s. It's like, how can you save 20% of your gross income? I'll tell you, for some people, teachers, cops, nurses, single income households, that may be next to impossible. It's every reason why it's not for this episode. I teach my borrowers. I teach my loan officers. I teach the college students that we mentor. Focus on earning. It's way easier to save when you're focused on earning. It is difficult to bleed a turnip, right? Like you're not gonna do that. But if you're focused on earning, it makes it very easy to save. Plus, when you're earning, guess what you're not doing?
Spending.
You're not spending.
Well, that's false, because the more I earn, the more I spend. So how about this, Dustin, since you love uplifting people and getting high spirits? So when it's finally not about the money, what happens then for loan officers and those business professionals where it's not about the money, with that newfound free time or new opportunity to do something else? What fills that void when it's not about the money?
It's a great question, because what ends up happening, it's not that you're not going to work. Do you think I'm ever not going to work, John?
Probably not.
Like, what would I do? It's my identity. It's what I like to do.
Fucking gain 600 pounds is the American way.
Yeah. So what I stopped doing is having bad days. What I stopped doing was being a raging asshole when something didn't go my way. I'm not saying that I can't be an asshole from time to time. I'm just saying the raging part, right? The raging part has gone. I think some of that comes with wisdom as well. Creativity starts to blossom. I don't have to do things that I don't want to do. It's a lot easier to find that avatar and focus on him or her and not work with people that I don't want to work with, not do things that I don't want to do. Now, there's still some habits that I've formed over the past 20 years that will stick with me. And I still have the ability to grind things out. I still have the ability to mop the floors if that's what it takes to get the job done. But if I'm doing those things, it's great when I understand, oh, this is temporary. Oh, I only have to do this for 3 weeks because maybe I'm covering for somebody. Maybe I'm trying to launch a new business venture, and that new business venture is gonna call for me to do some things for the next 6 or 8 weeks that, cool, I'll do it now, but eventually I'm going to hire a who and train my who to do it. So once you've gotten to that point when you can say, oh, it's not about the money. Yeah, I think at that standpoint, you can start being more creative, and you'll notice that the money will always be there. How you earn it may come different, or it may take you another 2 years. You know how it takes like loan officers 2 years to get their business off the ground? It may take someone 2 years to figure out what their next version of themselves looks like. And maybe that's 2 years to go through that metamorphosis or go through that transition. So, but the point of this, and it came up on that coaching call last week, I was like, well, let's make a podcast episode out of this, is that anybody who tells you that, hey, look, it's not about the money, I'm going to tell you either that's because they're a broke joke who will never have money, or it's easy to say it once you've got the money. Because I would tell you, oh, it's not about the money, it's about the journey. I agree with that. Way easier to say it once you got money.
I believe in that because I don't have any money, and I still believe it's not about the money.
Yeah.
that was good insight. That was good perspective, Dustin.
No, I mean, I wanted you to take that in further.
That's really it.
I mean, but not everyone can be you. You know that, right?
The world doesn't deserve more me's, Dustin. You know that.
The world doesn't deserve it, or the world can't handle more.
No, the world could handle it. That would be called utopia, but then there would be academic inbreeding, as you say.
Okay.
I think, would I get along with myself? Like, if I met myself, like you were like me, would I get along with me, or would it be like, yo, this guy's a fucking clown? Yeah. Or like, would I be able to go out with myself all the time? Like, do you think, like, if you had another you, like your twin, would you get along with yourself?
My personality is one in which we're attracted to each other.
You guys would talk over each other, just be fun.
Non-stop.
Jesus Christ.
You know what? There's this guy out there. His name is Gerald Pumphrey. Gerald Pumphrey is a loan originator. Pumphrey? Yeah, Pumphry. Gerald and I worked together for like 7-8 years. He's down in Jupiter, Florida. Gerald Pumphrey and I together.
Oh, God.
It's a hot mess in every fun kind of way. I'm talking like such a yin-yang play off each other. Super fun.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Pretty distasteful, probably. He pushes the envelope way more than I ever would, but yeah, I think I would do fine with someone like me, but someone
No, not someone like you.
Me.
You. Identical you. Same hat, same
everything. Probably. I'm just narcissistic enough, right? I'm just self-centered enough.
I'm going to write up that AI algorithm and see how that works out.
No, but I hope y'all found this enlightening. And inside there's some good takeaways and some good tie downs, regardless of where you are in your life. There's some people today, John, that learn, holy shit, I'm more financially free than I thought because I walked you through that mock scenario that you threw out. And there's others that got the perspective they needed. Like, look, it is about the money. It is about working your ass off. It is about getting after it. It is about making as much as you can so that one day you can have the honor to be like, well, you know, it's not about the money. You know, I don't do this for the money. Well, yeah. You say that now.
Clearly.
But where were you 20 years ago? Where were you 10 years ago?
I know.
So anyhow, well, thank you all for your time. Check this out. If you like what we're doing here and you have not done it already, go to our YouTube channel. It's the Loan Officer Podcast, a.k.a. TLOP, and subscribe. Mortgage loan originators, mortgage brokers. It's not just podcast episodes on this channel. We have training videos. This is free training for you. And if you like what we're doing, make sure you share it, whether it's YouTube or Spotify or Apple. Make sure you're letting your friends and your colleagues inside of the industry, as well as those outside of the industry, make sure they're tuning in. Check out our newsletter. It comes out every Thursday. I write it. It's a quick read, probably 3 minutes or less. You can go to our website, tloponline.com. So tloponline.com. Subscribe to the newsletter. If you do, we'll make sure you get invited to one free masterclass per month. And lastly, for those who need it, and you know who you are, you need business coaching, you want sales training, you don't want to break the bank, but you do want to learn from top producers, check out what we're doing at TLOP's Originator Coaching. It is the #1 value in the mortgage industry from business coaching and sales training. All that information is also found on our website, tloponline.com. He's John Coleman. I'm Dustin Owen. That's all the time we have for you today, but we do look forward to catching you on the next episode.